Good morning, OSH Senior High sophomores. It's Michelle Masnick in the Career Resource Center. Today we're going to talk about success after high school and how it's all about the choices that you make that are going to determine your success and options after high school. The first thing I'd like to do is introduce the CRC to you. CRC stands for Career Resource Center, and it's located across from the Commons. And that's what our door looks like. Doesn't look super inviting, but you're welcome to come in anytime. There's an open and closed sign on the door, so if we're open, feel free to come in if you have questions. This is what the inside of our space looks like. We have lots of books and other resources that we use to help you through the college process, which includes lots of different stuff that I'll talk about in just a minute. And here's myself along with my partner in crime, Christy Voigt, and so we're the people that you come to see if you have questions about life after high school. The Career Resource Center has tons and tons and tons of resources. Some of the things that we can help you with include picking a career. Maybe you want to join the military, maybe you want to go to college. What are my options? The different types of colleges, public versus private, 2-year versus 4-year, what's a technical school, that sort of thing. We can help with ACT prep. We can help with ACT testing, like getting ready and registering for testing. We can talk to you about financial aid, scholarships, loans, grants, work study. What does all of that mean? That will become really much more important as you get closer to senior year. And if you are an athlete and you are hoping to play Division I or II sports while you're in college, please understand that there is more to it than just being a phenomenal athlete. You can't just be really good at your sport. You also have to have the right grades and the right ACT score. So not very good academically good students sometimes don't get to play when they're in college because you have to have the grades to back it up. So if you have questions about that, we're the place to come and see. I'm sure some of you are getting questions from either your friends or maybe from your family members about, have you thought about the future? What are you thinking about? And just be aware that we're knowledgeable about things that you might be getting asked and maybe how to answer those questions at this point in your life. You might be thinking about, do I even have to go to college? Like, is that a requirement? Like, where would I go? What if my grades aren't the greatest? Just so that you know there are options for everyone. If you're not sure about what you'll study, how much it'll cost, if it'll be hard or easy, maybe you don't want to go to school because it's going to be hard or you think it's going to be hard. There's a lot of different things that we can tell you and advise you so that you pick the right school for you so that you're not overwhelmed. Where should you go to school? There's over 7,000 different colleges in the United States, so there's lots of different options. And then sometimes students have questions about their grades being good enough. So we can talk about all those things with you. When I use the word college, when Christy uses the word college, what we mean is not just 4-year universities. If everybody goes to 4 years of college, we're going to have a lot of people that are overqualified for lots and lots of jobs. Make sure that you know what you want to do with your life, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit too. But the term college, when we use the term college in the CRC, we don't just mean 4-year universities. We might mean a technical college where you could go learn about, drilling for oil or fixing a house, being a carpenter, being an electrician. Maybe you want to do hair and nails for a living. That's awesome. Working in the right salon, you can make enough money to live on, absolutely. And you don't need to go to school for 4 years. If you want to do something in the culinary arts, you want to be a chef, you want to be a pastry person, you want to be a restaurant manager. Again, not all of those jobs require a 4-year degree. If you want to work with wood, you want to do, like I said before, carpentry or construction. There's lots of different jobs that don't require 4 years of college that you get, to use your hands and do creative stuff. Auto, whether it's bikes or cars or jet skis or boats, diesel engines. There's lots of different options for, students who want to get, their hands dirty working with cars. If you're not sure about what you want to do, community college is a great place to start. It's a 2-year school where you just get your generals done. And then you could transfer to a 4-year university, or you could start at a 4-year university if that's what you determine that you need based on what you want to do with your career. So again, just making sure that you understand that when we use the term college, we are not just talking about 4-year colleges. We're talking about all different types of training that happens after high school. So options wise, like I said before, it depends on how you're doing in school. It depends on what you're involved in school. The choices that you make while you're in high school really do dictate what your options will be after high school. So if you want to be a rocket scientist or a CEO or a doctor, you might need to go to a very prestigious school to do what you want to do. And it's important that you understand exactly what you should be doing in high school to get there. So good grades, very important. Doing the best you can in the most rigorous and challenging courses you can handle. That's important. Making sure that you take the ACT as a junior. That's not till next year, but knowing that it's coming up and that getting good grades and taking challenging and rigorous courses are going to help you do better on the ACT. That's important to know right now. Are you involved in stuff? Colleges want to see that you do something other than just school. So if all I had to do was get up and eat breakfast, go to class, come home, have a snack, maybe do a little bit of homework, and then the rest of the night was mine every single night, I could probably be pretty good at school because that's like my only concern, right? So colleges want to see that you know how to manage different aspects of your life. If you're involved in chess club or you do music or, private lessons, maybe you're playing a couple of sports, maybe you volunteer, maybe you work. There's a lot of different ways that you can show a college that you can manage your time. So that's really important that you're involved in something other than I just take classes at Osseo Senior High. And we have lots and lots of clubs that can help you get there. So another way to help you decide is advisory. The reason you meet with an advisory teacher every Tuesday is so you're on track. With 2 of us working in the CRC and 1,500 of you or 1,800 of you, it's really difficult for us to touch each and every one of you and help you and sit down and have a personal conversation. So if you need additional assistance, you come down, you make an appointment, or you stop by and see us at lunch and we'll answer those questions that you have. But the reason you have advisory is so that you know what you should be doing right now. And what you should be doing right now is taking a look at this Minnesota Career Information System website. You're supposed to be doing checklist activities on it, not every week, but every other week, every third week, something like that. You're researching stuff right now. You're taking some assessments. You're finding out more about yourself. You're learning about visiting colleges. You're learning about how much it costs to go to specific colleges. All of that is what you're supposed to be doing right now. So pay attention in advisory. If you come to the CRC, one of the very first questions we'll ask you is, so what'd you do in advisory this last week? Because almost always it pertains to the questions that you have to ask us. It's also important that you know what your options are. And while the Minnesota Career Information System website can help you, I think it's important to kind of know overall what are my options. So let's take a look at some. What if you want to be a teacher? Let's say you want to be a teacher. Teachers work, 9 months out of the year, most of them. They go to school for a certain period of time to do what they do. Let's take a look at what that looks like. How much money do you think teachers make? Let's have some guesses. And please understand that if you're screaming at the TV or screaming at the screen right now, I can't hear you. But here we go. You make about $44,000 a year on average in the state of Minnesota. If you're first starting out, you make less. If you've been around a while, then you make a little bit more. But an average teacher in the state of Minnesota makes about $44,000 a year, or $21 an hour. That's not bad, right? Teachers get paid all year round, so that's, for working 9 months of the year, that's not bad, right? Can I find a job? That kind of depends on what kind of teacher you want to be. But in Minnesota, we employ a very large number of teachers, and the annual openings in the teaching profession are very high. So be aware that if you're going to go into teaching, that there's a pretty good chance that you're going to find a job and you're going to be able to earn that paycheck. How many years do you think you have to go to school to be a teacher? Minimum. 4 years. So for a 4-year degree, making $44,000 a year on average, that's what it looks like to be a teacher. What about if I want to work on cars? These are some high-end Porsches I have on the screen here, but let's say just average person who's working on cars for a living, what do they make? What do you think? Average is $39,000 a year, or about $18.75 an hour. Now, if I'm working on these Porsches in the picture, I'm probably making more than that. If I'm working on a different kind of car, I might be making less than that, or if I'm just starting out, I might be making less than that. Can I find a job? The answer is it kind of depends where in Minnesota you're looking. Overall, Minnesota employs a very large number of mechanics, and in Minnesota, it looks like the annual openings are pretty high. In central Minnesota, they're looking for mechanics, it looks like, but in northeast Minnesota, northwest Minnesota, and the 7-county metro area, there's very few annual openings. So if you want to work on cars, and you understand that I might not be able to find a job right away looking at this picture, how long do I have to go to school to be a mechanic? 2-year degree is usually what's required. So that's about $5,000 a year less than a teacher makes, but I went to school 2 less years, right? So different things to consider, just things to consider. Let's say I want to be a physician, let's say a surgeon, to be very specific. I want to be a surgeon. I got to scrub up. How much does the average surgeon in Minnesota make? $197,570 a year. So about $200,000 a year to be a surgeon. That's about $100 an hour, just less than $100 an hour. That's a lot of money every year. Would I be able to find a job? The answer is it kind of depends. Again, the occupation is growing very, very quickly, but in Minnesota there's a small number of surgeons and there's a few annual openings, but it's growing. In the United States, so if you're willing to travel, if you're willing to go to somewhere other than Minnesota, there's a very large number of people employed and the annual openings are very high. Again, this is nursing and physician, lots of medical careers are growing, crazy growing over all of the United States. So if you're willing to move around, it might be a good option for you. 12 years, though, of school to make that $200,000 a year. And actually, that's just for a general practice doc. If you're looking to be a surgeon or a psychiatrist or work with kids specifically, it's going to be closer to 16 years. So again, things to consider. Maybe you want to make $200,000 a year, but you don't want to go to school forever. That's a decision that you'll have to make, different options that you have. Last one here. Let's say I want to be a chef, work in the restaurant industry in some way, shape, or form. I'm going to make about $41,000 a year, or about $20 an hour. I'm going to absolutely be able to find a job. There are restaurant jobs all the time. It might not be the exact restaurant that you're looking for or that you want to work in, but there's going to be lots of jobs. In Minnesota, there's a very large number of people who work in the restaurant industry, and all the time there's jobs. It's growing at about the same rate as other occupations, so it's not growing super fast, but it's not shrinking either, so that's really good. And a 2-year degree is typically what restaurants are looking for, that you have some experience. But that 2-year degree could be as close as Hennepin Technical College in Brooklyn Park. It doesn't have to be a fancy-dancy private school. It can be, there's lots of options just right here close to home. So you've probably seen this chart before, but the more you learn, the more you earn. If you graduate from high school, you can expect to earn over the course of your working lifetime, which is 40 plus years, about $1.5 million. So you'll be a millionaire when you're done working, but you probably spent most of it. If you get a bachelor's degree, you can expect to earn about $1.2 million more over the course of your lifetime. So saying that college isn't maybe worth the money, it's maybe not worth the money if you go spend $100,000 on a 4-year degree, but if you can make that more affordable by starting out at a community college and going to an in-state public school, you're not going to spend nearly $100,000, but you're going to earn more over the course of your working lifetime because you have that degree. Professional degree at the very top is doctors, lawyers, people with doctorate degrees, but for a professional job. A PhD might be somebody who has a doctorate in education or a doctorate in a specific field. So if you have questions about these specific statistics, you can certainly stop by the CRC or ask your advisory teacher. If you're thinking about a four-year college, it's very important that you have the right classes in the right areas, because if you don't, you might not be admitted and you might have to start out at a community college. So 4 years of English, 3 years of math, 3 years of science, 3 years of social, these are all things that you need to graduate from high school. So I'm confident that you'll have those when you graduate from high school. The rest, though, you might not. 2 years of a single foreign language, that is not a requirement at every four-year university. It is a requirement at some four-year universities, but not every one. So if you have questions about who requires foreign language and who doesn't, stop by the CRC. We'll take a look at that. You can also do that research on your own using the Minnesota Career Information System. You need 1 year of visual or performing arts. That can be music or an art class. Be aware the little orange note there says that if you have taken some tech ed courses in the junior high, they might qualify, or not even just at the junior high, but if you've taken any tech ed courses or family and consumer science courses or business courses to qualify for the art credit to graduate from high school, colleges don't look at those as true art credits. So you might want to think about taking a year of music or doing some art classes with the art department if you're thinking about a four-year degree. You'll also need an ACT or SAT score, and you'll get that taken care of as a junior. So what's the process look like? Let's take a look at that. Let's say you want to go to college. You've decided you need some after high school training and you want to take that step. You will apply, you'll pay your application fee, you'll send a transcript, and you'll wait to see if you're admitted. Some colleges are going to make you take some sort of placement test. The placement test is basically used to show whether or not you are ready to take college level classes. Your ACT test score can sometimes take the place of that placement test, but there are still some colleges that will have you take the placement test in addition to your ACT. Once you've been certified, yep, I'm at the level that I need to be to take college level classes, you get to register for those classes. It's important to register as early as you possibly can, so just be aware of that. Then once you register, you'll take the classes, you'll move through your program, and you'll graduate hopefully at the end and get your degree. One thing I want to mention though, see this girl, she's very sad, she's working really hard, she's got her cup of coffee, she needs some caffeine, it's late in the night. She is in a developmental course because she didn't pass her placement test. And she didn't pass her placement test because she didn't take challenging and rigorous courses in high school. She didn't get very good grades. And so she doesn't have the right level of knowledge to be successful in college level courses. So she is going to end up paying basically at the college for high school remediation courses in order to continue on and take courses in her degree. So don't be that girl, okay? Don't be that kid that, just sort of lollygags through high school, just doing exactly what you need to do, but not doing it very well, not taking it super seriously. Because if you choose to go on to college, you choose to go and get some training after high school, you might end up taking those developmental courses, and you don't want to pay for stuff that's not going to help you get any closer to your degree. That's why we have AP and HP courses. That's why you're encouraged to take rigorous courses, because these are going to help you get ready for the next step, which for most of you is going to be some sort of college, right? So what should you be doing now? Let's take a look at that. So you literally have 4 years to get ready for college, right? You had grades 9, 10, 11, and 12. You're currently about a little more than a third of the way through your high school career. So ninth grade is gone. What happened in high school, what happened in ninth grade, you can't go back and fix that, right? What happened first trimester, you can't go back and fix that either. But you have 2 more years and 2 trimesters worth where you can be, doing your best, boosting your GPA, taking rigorous classes, doing the things that you need to be doing to be ready for that next step, which is life after high school. Get the best grades you can. Be out looking at colleges, thinking about what you want to do with your life after high school. That's a typical college tour there. You have one person sort of taking you around, showing you what the campus looks like, showing you the classroom, showing you the library, showing you where you eat, showing you where you stay if there's a dorm situation. It's really important. You also need to understand that colleges are going to want, again, a resume is on the right and your transcript is on the left. They're going to want to see that you've had good grades, that you've done the work that you need to do in high school, and that you've been involved. So your transcript and your resume are going to be super duper important. One way to stay connected with the CRC is we have a Facebook page, OSU Senior High School Career Resource Center, and we have a Twitter feed at OSH CRC. If you want to know what's going on, don't forget to register for your ACT. Don't forget to be thinking about campus tours. Hey, sophomores, you were supposed to do this today in advisory. Don't forget, you want to stay on track. You can either like our Facebook page, or follow us on Twitter, and we'll keep you on track. So OSU CRC, we are here. We are here to help. Stop by if there's anything that we can do for you, and have a really good day.